I know.
You just noticed it right now? This is stupid. Hey, there's a new LVY.
Right. Anyway, so, darlings, I have to do this again. This is kind of funny.
I'm gonna LVY these nuts
I
in
got
your
into
mouth.
like a coughing fit, and then I kept on talking afterwards, and I forgot to unmute myself. So anyway, I just was like, you know what, just delete that live thing. Yeah, we'll just start over. Why not? Hello. Anyway, so again, the episode for season 6 of Selling Sunset is called Mismanagement, or is it Mismanaged? Um, let's dive right into it, shall we? So, I have to say, Chriselle is like the incarnation. I mean, is incarnated into Brie, and that Brie is getting so much for being, the new addition to the team. She's getting so much camera time. I mean, she doesn't even have to be on camera because the girls keep her name in their mouth. Like, hello. There's hardly ever a conversation that doesn't involve her, even though she's not on camera, she's not in the scene. She is just like the hottest thing right now in their office. Isn't that fabulous? I mean, like, she's doing the least, right? But she's getting the most camera time. I love it. Love it. Do you, girl. Do you. Get your hustle on. Get those bags. It is expensive to raise a child. I will say that for sure. Even, like, when you're just babysitting somebody else's child, it's a lot of energy. I'm just saying. But I digress. So, let's seg into the dinner date with Detective Chelsea and her hubby at Crustacean. It's so cute that she forgets his fave drink. It's a Macallan 15. Neat. And of course, she had the Daughter of the Dragon, which again a friend of mine had told me about, and I was like, what now? A Who of the Dragon? So yes, I googled this. It's made of Thai chili infused Tito's vodka, Control, grenadine, simple syrup, and lemon juice. Inspired by the actress and daughter of the Dragon star Anna May Wong. Is that a fabulous drink name? Daughter of the Dragon. Right? It just goes, like, you can already imagine it kind of smoky with, like, um, a smooth tang to it. Like, you get the spice, you get the smoothness, you get the tang, all of it coalescing down your throat. And hopefully it doesn't give you a really bad headache. You know, hangover the next day. But I'm just saying, hopefully if you only have one, you may not have a hangover. Hangovers are never cute. Yeah. And as Sarsci is 105 years old, she doesn't do any more drinking. Because girls, and all of you fabulous people, Sarsci has a hard time with hangovers. Oof. 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 Plus, Sarsci is a little bit funny when she's drunk. No, she's not a little bit funny. She's all kinds of funny. All kinds of funny. But anyway, those stories are for another time because we are here for a recap of this season of Selling Sunset, season 6. So, I have to say, the report, the banter, just the overall relationship of Chelsea, Detective Chelsea, and her husband, who isn't always shown, you know, on the show because obviously it's not about their personal lives per se. But then again, their personal lives are like smack in the middle of this. It's like front and center. Her husband doesn't or isn't always around for a lot of the seasons. Like a lot of the seasons. Like I think a couple of seasons back, or last season. It wasn't really around much. But anyway, it doesn't add or diminish from like Chelsea's screen time, obviously, or just her being this like strong willed persona. But it's cute to see her be cutesy, with her husband. And he even agreed with her that she's his stoic queen bee. And I mean, hello. Who doesn't want a strong partner squarely in your corner? Like, raise your hands, raise your feet, raise everything you can raise. I'm just saying. Hey now. And he's like, he's just so supportive of her. I love it. I love that for them. So and now we seg into the penthouse, which Jason had purchased and is currently remodeling, which doesn't really look to me because, Sarsci is currently in um, at work. I was like started thinking about what am I like looking at tomorrow, meeting wise. Oh, jeez, nuts. Anyway, project design, um, building designs and stuff. Anyway, uh, the remodel, the project, as I saw it on the show, it looks like it has not moved an inch. It doesn't even look like, for example, the pile of trash decreased. It looks like it increased. It looked exactly as when Jason left it on his actual, for his actual vacay. Like, if I was he, I would be like, hello? Is it me or did everybody take a vacation too while I was on vacay? Because this was supposed to have, like, made some, at least some significant headway. But let's give the benefit of the doubt. I don't know when they started on this particular project, and I don't know when the materials started coming in. There's many different parts to it, right? That makes the whole, especially when you are remodeling a project as big as this one. This is not massive, but it's still time consuming, and the tasks are endless almost, it seems. So I will want to give that the benefit of the doubt, but then at the same time, I don't know exactly what specific instructions were left for his project manager. For us, obviously, we use the GANTT chart. It helps us visualize how far we have come, the expectations, the timelines, the flow, basically, of the project. Um, but I don't know if that was ever really discussed with this project manager. Maybe it's a little bit difficult too because the project manager is really close to him, being that he is Mary's husband. I don't know. Maybe sometimes having too close of people working with you can be a detriment to accomplishing your goal, right? Even if they're working for you and they are your obvious employee, it still brings about a lot more project, or not even project, but headaches for you. It's harder to be firm with them. It's harder to be objective. I'm just saying. Hashtag project manager. Anyway, I have to say also, I have worked with other project managers who've been always so concerned about quote unquote unforeseen circumstances. Like, what the heck? I am of the impression that project managers, because there's not like you're just going to be a project manager yesterday, right? Come with a vast deal of experience and have had opportunities and areas of expertise where they could, you know, pull from when they're working on whatever project they're working on. Unforeseen circumstances, in my opinion, and don't throw eggs at me, in my opinion, are for those who are new in the business, like new in project management, or like new. I don't like giving myself an opportunity to include unforeseen circumstances in any of my projects because it's such a negative thing. Because I feel like if I have done my job completely and correctly, if I have, say, before the project commences, had thought of a myriad different factors that could go wrong, there should be no reason why I should have unforeseen circumstances. Like, for example, with Jason and the HOA or whatever have you. That should have been hand in hand tackled with the HOA before you even like tore down the walls. Was there going to be an issue? And then also, check with like building codes and things. You can't just like take down walls and expect the inspector to be okay with that. Obviously, you have to have permits for these things. And honestly, I don't know for like every city, but I feel like the city inspectors, they charge you an arm and a leg and then some. It's like every time they breathe inside the actual project area, that's a charge. Ding, 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 ding. That's a charge. Everything is a charge. I mean, you have to have a separate bank just for the influx of charges, of assessments, they call it, that they charge you. Good lord. Sheesh. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, so unforeseen circumstances. My team and I, it's like the first thing when we are given a project, the first thing that we do a deep dive in. What can go wrong? What factors would affect us getting to the actual scheduled date? What can we do now to prevent that? How do we manage getting 10 steps ahead of this? Of every factor that you can think of that could be an issue. How do we navigate turning that problem into a solution? Honestly, obviously, with this, I don't know. I really hope that that is not true for Jason's project manager, but I'm just saying, it really just doesn't seem so. It seems like there's focus, but surface level focus. I mean, I'd like to think that the project has been underway for some time. I would like to think that. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. So then there should be more focus on the details. There should be more focus on getting, like, if you can't multitask in your head and focus on all the areas that you need that are being remodeled or affected by the remodel, then slice it up like a cake. Focus on one thing or another, just like kind of so it rolls down smoothly, as well as smoothly as you can. But then from what I saw on the screen, I was just like, what a mess. Like scratching my head. What a mess. Um, but also, many different factors. It could be like they didn't have uh, enough um, workers, like, the manual labor side of it. Maybe they didn't have the all of the oh, what do you call this? Ach, 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 ach. Sorry. Okay, well, I don't think that sneeze is gonna come. All right, cool. Like maybe they don't have all of the permits. I don't know. It's obviously not going to be discussed on the show, but I just hope that this is gonna be a learning lesson, like a really expensive learning, um, a deep dive learning lesson for the project manager, and hopefully it doesn't, you know, happen again. I mean, $10 million is nothing to sneeze at. Like, there's not very many people who has like $10 million just sitting around randomly to buy 4 condos with, right? Um, so again, if you're relying on the hired professional to for their expertise and for, well, quote unquote expertise, and for the work to be done and completed according to your contract and what has been agreed on, I'd be very pissed if these unforeseen circumstances keep cropping up at every turn. Just saying. Just saying. So anyway, let's pick it up. Back up at the show. So Nicole and Chelsea has a coffee date. But first, let's talk about the glamazon Chelsea and that slip of a skirt. I mean, she sneezed into that thing, didn't she? Look, everybody knows, as you can see from the show, Chelsea is like sample sized. But I'm like, girl, don't breathe because that thing will fall apart and you'll be naked. But then again, did she work it? Did she work it? Girl was working it. Like, work it, girl. Yes, honey. Though it was funny when she was trying to slide down the chair so she could sit down and have her little coffee with Miss Nicole, who apologizes for her part in the madness that is Chelsea's Brokers Open when she and Chriselle got into their argument slash confrontation about the bone collector and the bag of bones that Nicole is still holding on to from 3 years ago. And I'm honestly, but that wasn't really the focus because Chelsea uses that to talk about, and in a way, if you think of it this way, undermine Mary and her seeming lack of management skills in helping defuse this bomb that is, well, erupting all around Nicole and Chriselle and everybody else in the office. So now they're having to like tiptoe around this thing. But I also noticed Nicole, because she says several several scenes that she and Jason and Mary have known each other a long time, and I'm thinking a long time is like over 10 years, right? But being Mary's friend for having been Mary's friend for that long, she doesn't seem to offer a word of defense for Mary. Like, she doesn't stick up for her friend like Nicole. I don't get it. Are you a friend of Mary's or are you a friend of Mary's? I'm confused, girl. You got me thinking, girl, you just screaming for camera time for real. I'm just saying. That's just my, well, observation. You could disagree with it, but you know. So she's got her eyes on you, Miss Nicole. And speaking of, to continue with that whole Chelsea doesn't feel like Mary has the skills to manage the office. She does pull Mary aside once they get back into the office to have a conversation about her expectations from the managing partner, who is Mary, of the office and her inability to intervene between Nicole and Chriselle in that very moment where, the spectacle occurred and where the client was actually present, which is really, really bad, to witness this unprofessional behavior. It was a huge dollop of embarrassment for the team, the agents involved, and potentially the client impacted the client's firm belief in the ability of this company and its agents to produce the expected return of her business, which is to sell her property. Like hashtag common sense. I mean, did you really have to have your confrontation there? Look, I still feel like Nicole, if she's saying that she is the mature, more experienced realtor, I'm not talking about her age, but she's the more experienced realtor in the office, then she should have that wisdom to speak to her colleague with management, obviously, as necessary as need be, and air your grievance that way and hash it out that way. I mean, doing it at Brokers Open, which again, you're claiming you have a great many experience in handling yourself professionally, girl. What happened to that? Again, camera time. Oof. Anyway, so back to the conversation between Mary and Chelsea discussing the confrontation. Hashtag Brokergate. Mary, for her part, tells Chelsea that she expects everyone to conduct themselves professionally, as they should, and that she has spoken to Nicole about her part in the mess. And of course, the cameras are gonna be sneaky about it and like messy because it pans to Nicole, who is visibly shaking her head. Side note though, Mary did actually tell Nicole to fix this with Chriselle at a previous showing for Mary's client. Like they were at a property together, and she had already spoken to Nicole. Mary spoke to Nicole firmly. She really just doesn't have the energy for this like nonsense, and that Nicole needs to speak to Chriselle about it and hash it out. Like, figure it out, girl. Or wait until Jason gets back. Whatever. Anyway, I feel like Nicole, girl, your retention ability is greatly in need of an overhaul. Like, keep on trying, honey. Keep trying to make it a thing. So, that conversation does not end very well because obviously Chelsea was hoping for a different outcome. And she was frustrated, clearly. She's expecting somebody to lead her with firm hands. Not like an iron hand, but firm hands. Where she could learn from. She could hopefully respect, and somebody who is going to be even keeled and is not afraid to get their nails well, dirty. Or hands dirty, for that matter. Because, well, as you can see, it is figuratively and literally a dirty business. Just saying. So, well, that conversation ends with Mary finally putting a pin in it, telling Chelsea that the subject will be discussed when Jason returns. And that's that. And again, of course, Chelsea isn't happy, but isn't that why we have episode 6? And hopefully, episode 6, Jason is back by then because, Mr. Man, it really does not look like you can be away from your office, from your business, too long because these girls. But then again, if he's on vacay, does that mean his twin brother Brett is also on vacay? Because I don't think I saw him at all this entire episode. I can't recall seeing him. So does that mean when one twin goes on vacay, the other one goes on vacay too? Asking for a friend. Anywho, so there's that recap. And again, if you enjoyed it, or at least are making fun of me somehow, and I can't hear you, obviously, do you want to be a friend? Do you want to be Sarsci's friend? If so, please click that subscribe button and let's be friends. Alright, you fabulous people. I will talk to you later. And we'll talk about episode 6. Hopefully tomorrow or maybe another day. But do remember to journey in gratitude and leave some grace for everybody, including yourself. Remember to do all that your heart loves that makes you happy. And keep being little fabulous you. Keep throwing glitter in today's face, even though it's really, really taxing to do sometimes. And you're just like, ugh. Keep being the fabulous you that you are. Alright, darlings. Good night, good day, and good morning. See you later. Ciao.